What's going on to you, Taurus? So you have the Three of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Strength, the Seven of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Queen of Swords, the Emperor, and then you have the Nine of Swords. So what I'm seeing here for you is I'm seeing how a lot of you, Taurus, happen to be in a situation where you went from being heartbroken that you weren't really getting what it is that you wanted to now actually learning how to take care of yourself. And a lot of us have to go through that same rites of passage, right? Unless you usually have someone at a very young age instilling that type of knowledge into you, that you do have to learn to take care of yourself and you do have to value yourself. Learning how to figure that out, how to value your own self, can be a little bit of a difficult ride. And a lot of you, Taurus, are learning how to value yourself. The Ace of Cups now represents, so as a result of this, the Ace of Cups really is about how, since this is the case, you're in a situation where, and now you can actually start to express that type of love to other people. And the reason why is because you know what it's like to actually love yourself, right? A lot of times people like to use the whole love yourself type of thing in a cliche kind of way, where it's really all about them just saying, hey, you need to love yourself and all this other type of nonsense, but they don't actually really do it. And the thing about it is that the Strength and the Seven of Swords represents how, since this is the case, the Strength and the Seven of Swords is more so about you being in a situation where it's okay, you know, you've had to forget about the past, you've had to move forward with your life. And the Seven of Swords, you know, even if things didn't necessarily work out well between yourself and other people, right? People that you may have wanted to date, it doesn't mean that, fortunately, I should say, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. It does not mean that. So because of that, this is a situation where you understand, you, Taurus, understand it for what it is, and you're not going to allow anything or anyone really to ruin your experience that you are being alive and just enjoying yourself, right? And just overall, not only enjoying yourselves, but meeting other people and potentially really getting to know them. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. At the end of the day, you still love yourself. The Ace of Swords is about how you're just not going to try that anymore, right? Like, you're not going to try to turn someone or change someone from something of a lesser state to a higher state, right? You're not going to try to redeem somebody. If a person does not want to be redeemed on their own, if a person does not want to do better for themselves, a lot of you, Taurus, are just not going to try to redeem them for them. They have to already want that and already be practicing walking that path themselves of having to do something for themselves. But see, that's also the catch-22. How do you get to know somebody where maybe they have been in jail, maybe, you know, they were down and out, maybe they this, that, and the third, and they're turning their lives around? How do you determine that between when someone is basically faking it? And the answer to that is time. You know, a lot of times people don't want to put skin in the game. And what I mean by that is people want to play keep away because they think that's their diluted version of, well, that's how I'm getting to know you. It's like, no. If you really want to get to know somebody, you have to trust the person, right? Show them a little bit about yourself, right? Take that risk and then see what it is that they do with it. That's how it is that you find it out. Because a lot of times, the Seven of Swords, people will be like, okay, I'm not going to take the risk. I want to know everything about a person, but I don't want to take a risk on getting to know them. I don't want to find out more of who they are. I don't want to do any of that stuff. But then it's like, but how you expect to find out really who they are? How you expect to find out if they are Malcolm X, or if, you know what I mean? Or if there's someone that just looks like Malcolm X in the sense that they say that they've renounced their dysfunction, but they're still on the same stuff, but they just don't want people to suspect them. You have to be able to know. That's how everyone gets a chance to find out. But then you have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is, right, the Seven of Swords and the Queen of Swords. A lot of you Taurus, right, you have to be very watchful of this. But the Queen of Swords represents, but when you find out your answer, stick to that answer. Because like I said, they're dysfunctional. So the Emperor now represents how, since this is the case, the Emperor now represents how this is the case. This is an Aries card usually. But this represents you this time. This is about you knowing what to do. Things are going well in your life. They are, right? Whatever kind of business you have, whether you work for somebody or you're in it, you are the chairperson, right? Things are going well for you. Things are going well. It's just a matter of, for you, Taurus, not allowing this one part of your life to kind of derail everything else that you've got going on. And then you have the Nine of Swords. And then the Nine of Swords represents, this worrying that you, Taurus, may have of like having to interact with the weird individuals again. The people from the past. You're thinking a little bit too much about that. And you're not really thinking enough about the idea that you, Taurus, are already different people to begin with. So instead of doing that, why don't you, Taurus, understand that you're in a very good disposition in life? You just really don't need to worry about that type of stuff. If you're going to go back to the past and think about the nonsense and the dysfunction and what people got going on, you really shouldn't even be even thinking about type of stuff like this. You should really be in a position, my dear Taurus, where you're really just enjoying your life, because like I said, the Emperor, you have so many different things going on for you. Because see, an emperor doesn't just rule one city, right? Which is now, because kingdoms, see, you got to understand, like kingdoms broke itself up to counties, and then it further broke itself up to states, right? An emperor would basically be like a king, right? Or an emperor or an empress would basically be like a king or a queen of a state, what we would now consider to be a state. So you having the emperor, it means that you are the lord or the king, right? Or queens, whatever, over multiple estates or multiple states, right? Or I should, to be more accurate, multiple counties, aka cities. Let's say that, cities. And why I'm trying to say that in the first place is because you've got so many things going on. You got your finances, you look healthy, you look great, you feel good about yourself. A lot of you, Taurus, may start exercising. You started to pick up exercising. Your exercise, your body is starting to become more performance, right? Performance ready, right? Healthy, flexible. So a lot of you don't, you shouldn't allow one part of your life to be the downfall of you because you can't find anybody. Maybe it's because you can't find anybody because a lot of people are dysfunctional, because believe it or not, and you can check this for yourself, when it comes to really working out, most people will call themselves working out even for the summer. People will call themselves working out once every couple of months. And I've seen it even here in New York. They will work out one time in like a couple of months. Once every 6 months. And it's like, what do you expect just getting in one day of sweat and a workout to do for you? And it's like, but when it comes to them staying active, it's like, nah, I don't want to do it. And you don't see them for months on end. They've made no progress. And you're like, why is it that you acting like you've got all this motivation coming out here with the bag and the tights on or the sweatpants? And what are you doing? Let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Let's clarify the Ace of Cups. The Death card, which is Scorpio, your opposite, Chariot. The Six of Swords. Ace of Pentacles, right? To clarify the Ace of Cups, right? You're in a position where things are, like I said, things are looking up for you. And there's more of an emphasis for you to let go of. Like I said, you're not going to be so attached to holding on to dysfunctional mugs, right? Dysfunctional mugs, right? Because you realize that all it is that they'll do is just pretty much bring you down. The Six of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles is about, so next, you're really going to be in a position where you just want to meet someone that is, you know, I ain't going to say on your level, but has a lot of the similar or a lot of the same internal values as you. And I mean, you'll really have to go looking for that though, you know, because a lot of people are kind of subpar. They don't really want to work out. They don't really, there's been so many people that I've known, friends, that is like, they want to work out. But then when it's actually time come for them, I knock on their door and I'm like, hey, you ready to work out? They don't answer it. Or like, they open the door and they're like, nah, I'm good, and then they close the door again, you know. And then they really perceive that one day of doing a couple of jogs around you know, around the city, or, you know, I ain't gonna say around the city because the city's huge, but doing a couple of jogs, you know, around the you know, the pull-up park, right? The park where you get some pull-ups in. They think that's enough for 6 months. And it's like, what reality are you living in? So let's clarify the Emperor, right? So I already shuffled up. You have the Emperor, so we have to draw 4 more. Queen of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, right? 10 of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. Again, the idea that you know, the idea that you have so many things working for you. It's just that the only thing that you're missing is just one thing. But this is showing you that you don't have to be so worried about that one thing, right? And let go of all the other things that you're doing right. If nobody wants to be able to meet you halfway and they share a lot of the same internal values with you, then it just means that's how rare you actually are.